talking about guys who have had epic runs in 2022 and who are really making a name for themselves. Wardlow is certainly at the top of that list, but you and I have talked about it. I think we both agree the wrestler of the year so far is Dax Harwood. The work that he's done both as a tag team wrestler and as a singles performer, I mean, the man is on his game. And for him to be able to go from heel to babyface so effortlessly and so smoothly and be so damn good at both,
have such a great stash.
Not an easy thing to do. And to do it all with a beautiful stash, SPD, it's fantastic work. So when going into this match, we both knew Dax is the real deal.
I love this match.
I want to hear your thoughts on this match because I know a little bit about Will Ospreay before coming into this one. I've seen some of his work before, and he's a guy who he kind of fits my wheelhouse. Is like he's just a very well-rounded guy. He's like the Buddy Matthews, the Pac. He's Kenny Omega. He's got a lot of these are types of guys who really not a lot of flaws in their game. Striker, athletic, can really do it all. And I knew going into this match, I was like, all right, like SPD, I have a feeling SPD is going to love this match. And throughout this thing, you were blowing up my phone. So tell me, like, now that we're actually talking about it, rather than texting about it, tell me about it, man. Like, what were because we got to see Will Ospreay on Rampage in that 6-man, but we only got a little taste. You actually got to see him in a one-on-one format. What were your thoughts on this, dude? How did you feel?
I mean, I'll be the first to admit I don't know much about Will Ospreay, and I know you and Bonds have really been pushing and hyping him up and saying how much I would like him and how great of a worker he is. When I did see him emerge in the AEW scene last week, I was quite surprised and excited, and that I could finally get my eyes on this guy that I've heard so much about. But this match was, in a card that, like I mentioned earlier in the show, that was so stacked. This was my match of the night. I thought this was the most emotionally charged match. It had so many false finishes. It was extremely physical. Granted, we had the TLC match or the tables ladders match, essentially for the world tag team titles. But this one, of pure wrestling and pure striking, pure suplexes, and just physicality between both guys. It was definitely my match of the night. The chop, five in a row from Uncle Dax, and then on top of that, he had more throughout.
Height on those suplexes too, bro. I mean, he was launching him, dude. It was impressive.
I'm a sucker for a good stash and a good chop, and Uncle Dax delivered my chop of the night. I mean, chops of the night, because he had chops that we could probably hear from the next county if you were in St. Louis area, because man, he was delivering those epic chops to Ospreay and absolutely echoing and brutal, man. His striking is so physical, is so strong. And that's one of the main reasons we love Uncle Dax, is because he's just in it. He's in it to just whoop your ass. I mean, the part where they're like headbutting each other, like, I mean, they're fighting for every little ounce and everything. And so I just loved every second about this match. And it was just back and forth. I didn't want it to end. And the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," and this and that, this is wrestling. And when this got announced, I was so pumped, because no better person in AEW right now, I think, to go against someone on Ospreay's caliber than Uncle Dax right now. Granted, he's a tag team specialist, and what we've seen with other tag teams going singles, such as a Ray Phoenix, even a Penta, Kyle O'Reilly, as of late, doing some amazing stuff.
It's true.
And they work so great together. They are the best, top guys for a reason, FTR. But Uncle Dax, I can't echo enough. I mean, I think, as much as we love Wardlow, and we do love Wardlow, Dax is our wrestler of the year so far in 2022, with everything he's done with his promo work, his in-ring work, his singles, his tag team stuff. The guy is just delivering on every aspect. And I think, the momentum isn't slowing down anytime soon with Uncle Dax, and it is fun to watch. So hands down, my match of the night.
He makes so much sense too, as a guy, like, if you're a booker, right? And you're bringing in a big name like Will Ospreay, and you want to showcase what he can do. Dax makes so much sense as one of those guys that you're just going to be like, yeah, we're putting him up against this guy, because Dax, he gets it in the sense that, like, he's such a foundational piece. You know that he's not gonna botch a big move. He's not gonna do this like flip that's gonna fail or get this epic like boot. Like he's never gonna do anything like that.
Right.
It's just a solid, strong, smart wrestler who understands how to tell a story.
Yeah.
How to engage the fans and bring them in and make sure that we as an audience feel something. And MJF talked about that in his epic pipe bomb promo not long ago about how important it is to feel something in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And Dax gets that, dude. He's always cognizant of the bigger picture in his matches. Like you talked about, it feels like he's fighting. It feels like he's scratching and clawing to try to win that fight. It's not like he's going through these he's just waiting to, this is one of your biggest pet peeves is like watching someone where you can tell they're waiting to do their next move, right? Or like that awkwardness of like, okay, this guy's going to do this to me, and so how am I going to react?
Right.
Dax doesn't have that type of stuff in his matches. They're just you could tell he's in it. He's engaged. He's fully invested in the moment. Where there's never that hesitation with Dax. When he throws a headbutt, when he throws a suplex, when he does a chop, it's never timid. There's never that pause. He's engaged. He's doing it, and he wants it 100% back to him too. And I love that about this guy. It's so cool to see. I mean, again, dude, you and I have talked about this. I remember going all the way back to my bachelor party, and you and I talking about like, how much I loved NXT back then. And, to see a guy evolve and grow and get to this point, that's why we remain fans. Is just like, for me, it's just like when you can see this dude is he's hit his prime. Like he's in his prime. He's grown to really, and you could tell the light. He's always been a student of the game.
Yeah. But
you could tell he's really. It's all come together in a really beautiful way. As a fan of his, just to watch that happen, it's cool to see other people recognizing it now too on a big scale. Where it's like, I've been preaching the gospel of FTR for a long time. These guys are amazing, and they do it in a way that and I know like the Lucha Brothers are your favorite tag team, right? They're so different from the Lucha Brothers. They're
totally different. Yeah.
FTR is so different from most modern pro wrestling right now. And they feel like such a throwback to the good old days of wrestling when it felt real. And I think that's one of the things that I love about watching him go. Having him go in the ring with Ospreay, to me, it was a win-win situation because you knew
we all won on that match.
It was what Michael Scott likes to call in the office a win-win-win situation. We all win. So, in the sense that Dax again got to have a showcase for his growth and what a bankable, just foundational type of talent he can be for this company. Ospreay wins because, being honest, this is one of the biggest platforms that he's had in North America to showcase his talents to this fan base. And he got to go against a guy who they delivered. They put on a badass match. And
amazing.
I mean, your match of the night. And that says something when you talk about what we got to see in the main event. For this to just be a regular old standard wrestling match, and for this one to deliver like it did, Ospreay wins because he gets a big win over a guy who we all respect and look at as a talented guy.
Yep.
And we win as fans because we get to see. So again, win-win-win situation, brother. I love it.